when people die suddenly, there's always shock. They just always shock. There's always shock. But suicide adds these layers of trauma, of guilt, whether it's legitimate or not. Most of the time it's not. I mean, it's not. It's never somebody else's fault. That's why that silly Netflix thing, 13 Reasons Why, we're blaming other people. It's never somebody else's fault. There are contributing factors, but it's so, no. But anyway, there is the, there's the shock. There's the, but you do blame yourself. And you say, should I have done this differently? Why couldn't I talk him off the ledge? I've talked him off the ledge so many other times. Why couldn't I do it when it mattered the most? Why that night couldn't I do it? God, where were you? Did you turn your back for a second? Were you not watching? Why didn't you stop him? I mean, you have all these questions. You have these questions of, did he think of us, you know, before he died? What were his last thoughts? Was he mad at us? Did he have one thought of, I love my family? There's just all these, there's these unanswerable questions that suicide brings. So there was, I felt like my hope box mocked me, because I had all my hopes for Matthew's healing, or at least his ability to manage his illness. He was dead. I didn't even open that box for about a month. I couldn't. It was just too painful. But then as my emotions began to, you shift and you change, and you go from, there were days I couldn't get out of bed, or there were just, all I could do was brush my teeth that day. That was a good day. And then as the denial of this, oh no, this can't be true, as that actually begins to wear off, and then you feel the weight of the loss and the separation of grief. And then people say really dumb things like, I know how you feel. I lost my dog last year.
Oh my.
Yes. Or things like, I even got an email. It makes me laugh now, but because it's so stupid. But a person said, if you had homeschooled Matthew, and you had never let him play video games, and if you had never let him go to public school, and you had fed him organically, he would be alive. And if you really, this is the killer, and if you really lived a purpose-driven life, Matthew would still be alive.
And Kay, how do you answer these?
Because
Mama Bear's already crawling up at me. And
well, my first reaction was, I want to go punch you in the face. You're an idiot. I mean, there's anger and shock that somebody would say. And then I just started laughing because it's so absurd. It's like, buddy, if you think that I didn't twist myself into a pretzel to keep that kid alive, you know nothing. So it ranges from the people who have good intentions, like they're trying to empathize. I know what you feel like.
But
I lost my dog.
a lot of insensitivity.
Yeah, or at least you had him 27 years. Or at least the at least phrase, that's the one I want to banish.
Yeah.
Talking to people in grief or sorrow, just banish that phrase, at least. It's coming from a heart of, we don't know what to say, so we try to comfort. Oh, well, at least you had him for 27 years. At least, I got this one too, at least you know where his body was. That's because sometimes people in war or an accident, their bodies are truly...
They don't know.
Yeah, you get blown up by a bomb, or you sink in a boating... I mean...
But those aren't comforting words.
No, they're not comforting. Or my friend who lost a child who was an elementary school age, one of the things that somebody told her is, at least you can have more kids. Wow. And you want to go, I want this kid.
You can't have another Matthew.
No, I can't have another Matthew. And I didn't just want him for 27 years. I wanted him for his whole life. Yeah. I wanted more. And so grieving, people in grief, we don't need to hear your at least or your, oh, God had a better plan. No. You comfort people by walking up to them and saying, I'm so sorry for your loss. Or you say, I still pray for you. I mean, it's been 5 years. When somebody says to me, you're in my prayers, I know exactly what they mean. And I receive it as the comfort that they're trying to offer. The people who say, you better now? Or, well, you're feeling okay now, right? Or you've moved on. And I just want to go, how do you move on from, I conceived this child in my body. I carried this child in my body. I went through the hell of childbirth and bore him. I nursed him. I nurtured him. I kept him alive. Get over it? Move on? No. No, we move through grief. We move. I am moving through my life, but I move on. I move through life with Matthew. I will never move on. And so that's why I think grief is so hard. And we think it's linear. You know, first you feel this, then you feel this. No, grief is like a Etch-a-Sketch puzzle. It's messy, and it's not linear, and it's complicated, and it's painful. And if I was not able to have rebuilt my hope, if I wasn't able to rebuild the hope that was shattered when Matthew died, I don't know how I could get out of bed today. It is that devastating. It is that crushing.